Hello, I'm Jennifer Witt, Director of ProjectManager.com. Well, welcome to our whiteboard session today on what to do when your project's in trouble. Well, if you found yourself responsible for a failing project and you find yourself at the helm, then this session's for you. So, I want to see if any of these responses sound familiar. So, there are options. We as project managers, we like options, and here's a few. Do these sound familiar? So here's a multiple choice. When you find yourself handling a trouble project, which one do you do? So there are a couple of choices. Do you duck and run? Do you quit the project? What about develop the blame strategy, where you determine who to blame for whatever? You just blame everyone. Number 4, deny everything. You haven't seen anything, you haven't heard anything, you don't know anything. Number 5, you just yell. You yell at everyone about everything, just to get the focus off of you. Number 6, you could pull your hair out. I've seen a lot of bald project managers. Number 7, you just absolutely go blank. Number 8, what about this one? You ride in on your white horse, save the day, the project and everyone on it. You get promoted and then you leave anyway. Or number 9, other. Well, I don't know if those sound familiar. I've tried some of those in my past. I say trouble projects is where my pearls of wisdom came from. As in one organization that I was in a previous company, I was responsible for recovering trouble projects. So I've studied this for quite some time. But it sounds daunting. It's very fearful at times. As a matter of fact, some of these responses stem from, and I'm sure you've seen them yourself, if not by your project managers in your organization, maybe you've experienced some yourself, but they do. They come from fear responses. So our fear responses as human beings are, we either fight, there's fight, flight, and freeze. But I say there are a couple other choices. I like to boil this down to something a little more simple, something a little bit that can help us get the fear out and really stabilize. So I think there are 3 main things we can do in the beginning, and it's stop, look, and listen. So what does that mean actually? So when you stop, you get grounded and centered. So you can actually hear, you can see and hear what's going on in the organization. So just freeze. So if everyone else, if the project is trouble, probably there's a lot of chaos around. Probably there is a lot of blaming and yelling, a lot of tensions. Probably tensions are really high. So if you walk in, it's important for you to be the grounding force. You walk in, if you're stabilized and centered, then everyone else will kind of follow your energy as well. So you want to be able to see and hear what's going on. When you look, you're actually looking around. You're looking to see what's happening. What's happening? What are people doing? What are people doing? Are some people siding with others, like sidebar? Are they working? Are they confused? Are they frozen too? So what's happening? And then you listen. Listen to what's happening. Listen to what people are saying. What are they saying or what are they not saying? And then compare what you see and what you hear. Do they match? Or are they the opposite of each other, and why? So when you stop, look, and listen, then you can take these 3 steps. So how do we get the thing back on track? So number 1, we interview the stakeholders, the team, and the change control board. Get the different perspectives of what's happening, because typically, as we know, everyone has their own perspective. People have their own idea of why this thing went down, why it's failing, and the root cause of things. So get everyone's perspective and compile that information. And number 2, review the project plan. Where are you supposed to be? I mean, in truth, the perception may be that the project's in trouble, but if you look at the plan, you may actually be on track. If the expectations haven't been set properly, or other people have perceptions that you're supposed to be somewhere where really the plan isn't specified, then it could look like the project's in trouble, but it's not actually. So it's good to see, what does the project plan say? Where are we supposed to be, and where are we now? And number 3 is, once you interview people on the team and find out what's happening, and you look at the project plan, you devise the recovery plan. Because the recovery plan for your trouble project may be different than any other project you've had that may have been in trouble. It may be different than others that you have. So you devise your recovery plan and you determine, where do we go from here? How do we get back on track? And you look for the low-hanging fruit. It's the 80-20 rule. What's the 20% that I can do to get the 80% gain? So you want to do the fewer things and to get the biggest gain. If you think about a fireman going to a fire scene. So firemen look for the hot spot of a fire, because if you drive up on the scene of maybe a house fire, there's a lot of smoke. Well, actually, the hot spot is like in one area. So the firemen don't go on the scene just trying to douse the smoke. They look for the hot spot, because if they know they get the hot spot out, they take care of the rest. And that's what you're looking for on your trouble project. It's important to have your project plan up to date, available, accessible to not only yourself, but your team members, your stakeholders, and your CCB. Well, if you found yourself trying to get your trouble project back on track and you need some project management software, then visit us at projectmanager.com and purchase our software and get your project back on track.